3 Kuki terrorists allegedly killed, 7 to 8 others injured during gun battle with village volunteers at Kadangban. Mass sit-in protests held across valley districts against Assam Rifles legal notice served on Maheshwar Thaunawjam, demand removal of Assam Rifles from Manipur. And waterborne skin disease, cough, conjunctivitis detected at some relief camps. IDPs draw government's attention. Hello, welcome to New TV. You're watching English News with me, Priyoberta. And now the news in detail. 3 Kuki terrorists have been reportedly killed in a gunfight between Meitei village defenders and Kuki terrorists after the later opened fire at Singda Kadangban around 4:30 p.m. this morning. 4:30 a.m. this morning, I beg your pardon. The fierce gun battle lasted till about 8 a.m. and there were no reports of central and state security forces retaliating to the Kuki terrorists. A BSF personnel alleged that they were not aware of the side the gunfire came from and hence were not able to retaliate. An M16 bullet hit the door of a house, however, no injuries were reported. Mass sit-in protests were staged across valley districts today, demanding the withdrawal of legal notice served to social worker Maheshwar Thaunawjam by Assam Rifles. A protest demonstration was also held at Thamaiban Thau ground and Thamaiban Yumnam Lekai. Speaking to media, President of Thamaiban Yumnam Lekai, 𝐿𝐴 Ahibam Muna, expressed strong condemnation at issuance of legal notice to Maheshwar for speaking the truth and voicing the concerns of the civilians. She demanded revocation of the legal notice and removal of Assam Rifles who have been biased in their conducts from Manipur. It may be mentioned that Assam Rifles issued the legal notice on August 18th to Maheshwar Thaunawjam, who is the National Secretary of the Republican Party of India, RPI Athawale, for allegedly making derogatory allegations against the force in the Manipur conflict and demanding its removal from the state during a condolence meeting held in Delhi on June 30th. In the notice, the Assam Rifles said that Maheshwar Thaunawjam had done considerable harm to the reputation and standing of the organization in the public eye.
सच बोलने के लिए नतीजा ये मिल रहा है ना कि अभी जो सच बोल रहा है उसको तो ये असम राइफल को निकालना चाहिए अभी वो सब झूठ बोल रहा है अभी सच बनने के लिए नतीजा ये है इसका ऊपर में जो केस चल रहा है उसको जल्दी जल्दी करके निकालना चाहिए असम राइफल को भी मणिपुर से हटाना
𝐂𝐲𝐼𝐒 Apunban Loop also staged sit-in pressing the same demand at 𝐂𝐲𝐼𝐒 today. Speaking on the occasion, President of 𝐂𝐲𝐼𝐒 Apunban Loop, 𝐶𝐲𝐼𝐒 also condemned the legal notice served to Maheshwar, who has been representing the voice of the people during this present crisis to protect the integrity. Also condemning the silence of the government in this crucial juncture, she maintained that mothers are prepared to launch intense stir if the government fails to take a substantial step to restore peace in the state. Lamlong Kaithel Apunban Loop also staged protest at the Lamlong Kaithel. President of the Loop R.K. Dhanapati also demanded the notice be withdrawn at the earliest.
Central government अखोई मणिपुर की मक्ता माना लाव गांगबी दना पुनः मक्से तंबंग अम्मे बसे अखोई लीडर अंतर मंगसी बाबू तंबीद्री बा हाबीद्री बा तान ना बा मोइना हुजी साइड गांगी बा हाना पालम बसु हुजी पाली बसु पुनः मक्से ना लेबा की अवाब फोंदोक को मतमदा पॉलिटिक्स साना बे ओंग मान बा पोत गांग तावेन गांगना दना लेबा हुजी मणिपुर से सी बा मिसी में ना थोइ बा मयाम सिगी अखोई इंडिया गवर्नमेंट अखोई ना करी हाइगतगे हाबदि मोइ हुंफुगी मथौ दांगने.
Protest demonstrations were also staged at Laringmam Lekai, Laipam Kunau, Thamaiban Maisnam Lekai, Thamaiban Hijam Lekai, Thamaiban Hijam Diwan Lekai, Larumpure Lekai, Thopal Khetri Lekai, Wangkai Maihobam Lampak, Tera Lokrakpam Lekai, etc. Women's Welfare Association and Progressive Youth Organization also staged a sit-in at Uripok, Sorbonthingel, Harumbam Lekai against the serving of legal notice to Maheshwar Thaunawjam by Assam Rifles. Speaking to media persons, spokesperson of Women's Welfare Association and Progressive Youth Organization, Sorumbamumbi Sagulchem Rama said, 𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸 has been the voice of the people against the ethnic violence in Manipur across the country, stating that 𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸 voiced people's demand for withdrawal of Assam Rifles from the state for their partisan attitude in tackling the state crisis. Rama demanded the legal notice be revoked at the earliest.
Home Minister da Assam replacement kuri lokko haina thana base sunera bari adu punna maksadi garimba mata haidraga onagam mahesta atamnana maunda legal notice Assam replacement thara pase yajaninde pamjade aduna athuba matanda masigi legal notice si handokpiu raja amoina pamjabasi lebak si thokliba irang si athuba matamda hanjalanbiba PCM sana akoi CSO mayam punsin biu kanai pulau taga da bano kanai taru da guna hari center na su aduga aikodi Manipur gi lebak na su bap ta te ko ngaura hai ko wapun je ta ba yamna anga thaujai marambi lebak ko ngapi ga ne na song thokpi rakli ba CM mayam punna munna power sinaraga ohen bi bani prajai khu gi apam ba se sar khu gi apam na ta baraba aikoina khuting thorak ba CPU kholu haina law ba ningai to boina ngai biri ba sikari no isana isari thau kangna praja miyam je ngapi dana protection PBU amagi wapun na praja punung sinungai na lebak de inna tamna pan ba atu ko matamna pila bu ha gawan se asi aru boina tunjage
Pangai Apunba Mairapaibil Lob staged a sit-in demonstration at Pangai Bazaar today, demanding withdrawal of legal notice issued by Assam Rifles against 𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸, who is not only the National Secretary of Republican Party of India, 𝐊𝐈𝐋, but also Central Working Committee member. Mairapaibil also stopped the Assam Rifles vehicles as a mark of protest against issuing a legal notice against 𝐻𝐸𝐻𝐸, who has been speaking against the violence in the state since May the 3rd. Protesters also held banners requesting government employees and offices to cease work for today. Fear of spreading skin disease, conjunctivitis, fever and other epidemics has risen among internally displaced persons taking shelter at relief camps owing to failure of the government to supply potable water and proper medication. IDPs at different relief camps expressed their concerns to our reporter when we paid an inspection visit to the camps. An IDP at Kumalampak Hostel number 2, Longjam Basanta said, 193 persons of 45 families are taking shelter at the relief camp for 3 months. Out of the 193 persons, 76 are children ranging from a newborn to 17-year-olds. 6 persons, including children, now have skin disease, while around 25 have contracted conjunctivitis. Besides, children have caught fever after consuming the untreated water provided by the government. He also complained that just the one tank of water doesn't meet even their basic requirement.
Water supply supply Yaragadi Sinjiki, child Jebele, Narapo Yabu, Punchi, Kalumatam, peaceful or the Sarkar, I call you Pigini, high competition, a hand face or a kitchen cutting on the PB, I never be the Kozia having a chick, Mamma, Kanaraga, Punchi, Carino, Kalu, Canton, Tumbayadi, Tungakamai, charging Kalu, the Kadaki Kalu, Tumba.
Basanta further also expressed desire for the government to provide them means to generate income, adding that the have always helped in the development of the society. He died after he was hit by shrapnel in the bomb attack by Kuki terrorists while he was carrying edible items for the village defenders. Priyobrata said he will be buried beside the patriots as a mark of respect. Security forces at Thamnapokpi are irate if mightier village defenders use double barrels to defend the villages. but are a mute spectator when the Kuki terrorists attacked Meitei villages using bombs, contended Priyobrata. He also appealed to the government to look into this partial attitude of the security forces. Priyobrata also threatened that the villagers will take up extreme steps if the security forces do not perform their duties religiously.
Kuki militant singna atamna Meitei singbu losilage haina nandagwa tamda kunsingbu ngak dibam singda mating yoina chak insang ising thinba chapa matamda hatraba Kuki militant singna kapapadagi pamna sigiba athoba sigidamakta takoi kun amatsun Bishnupur district asida temba peace restoration committee thudang lominari haraga athoba sigidamakta takoi kudima mogasidagi lauraga athoba sing kumpham adu takoi pulap chakminaraga ingani masida koi Manipur da leriba mioi khudingmak raja khudingna su athoba Kidamakta, Hong Kidamakta, Hikal like a Tamlaga, Nongmatang Wergasu, Atoba Sigidamakta, Mayam Solidarity with Piu, Hanaboki Kunasida, Hanadagi Honadum, Apamatam, the Koi the Boom, Tadarakpa, no my capsula Pashimutam, the army sings Lady Basic Jinazu, a quite of gay, quite of Garaga, Karinta with the later, Koi me, Shimina Yaure, Simatam Sakana has it forward the Sakagi Bestiate for some laga, Kolaga Hitare, my poon and my Nakpagi, Tabak City, Manipur the Lagiba, Central Government forces in my Matose, saying the Tohan View, Machina Tragedy, Atoba Irang, and a Tolak and you have a say, see Tamsek.
Expressing immense dissatisfaction over political parties engaging in altercations rather than resolving the crisis that began on May the 3rd, women of Wangwu have now even threatened to commit suicide before Manipur Legislative Assembly complex. Women of the state have been spending nights on roads, and sons of the soil have been losing their lives protecting the integrity of Manipur. Speaking late last night at Wangwu Haluk parking, where many women were guarding the village, 𝐿𝐷 expressed deep anger and asked if this war will ever end and for how long will the government be a mute spectator. Meitei women have a reputation globally, and it is unfortunate that a woman leader and BJP chief A. Sarda, who should lead from the front to save Manipur, is involved in petty politics, added 𝐿𝐷.
Makoina vote lepkiba matam assembly the laws hemba matamda makoi se sumaina Meitei lebak kanba ngamoi haina wasak laukibra ngasiba moina tuminna leiba prajagi phorau amata tabida base yamna pende prithibida maming chatlaba nupi lan haina khangnariba malemda ni sudraba asida nupi punamaki lujingbi oiribi 𝐒𝐈𝐓 Sarda na ngasi lujingdana nupi ima punamaki mako oidan ima oina leibi mahakna lujingdana ikhoidi khutta maira paiduna Meitei lebak kandabe ade isinina saleng thokpira o Meitei lebak kalasi chai sutungi damakta haidana lepidaba thawdo amatang thokpada migi asoiba Congress na haibani adugi party na adu haibani hundana ngangbase yamna pende nupi ama oiraga nupi gi pukchen chendaba mali Wangwu praja sisu yamna ware anuba Brahmis Myanmar dagi lakpa kuki kharana changjalaga makhoina akhoi gi Meitei leibak sida popi thage popi thaba yadraganda makhoina Meitei de otpa naiba tauriba puna makase sarkana tuminna taduna leibiribra moina otpa naiba geng rapist tawdana Meitei nupi kayagi ijat manghankhibadadi sarkana tuminna taduna lei aduga makhoigi nupi ama katang phi thongdana chatpagi damaktadi haibaduna khudakta mogi kanopi karigino Meitei dina losallaga thamiba nakhoina kukibuna kangkhalise kari marangino Nangsina Meitei nupibu ijat amata leidabona khanbiri se kari marangino maram chana thabak chathabiro natragadi assembly honda isa mayam sidringaida Meitei nupi mama oba khoi chingja hana siba changal isa sing leitragadi mama khoi hingu bai kari artha leige asuma sarkar na khangbiyo.
On the other hand, Secretary of Wangu 𝐒𝐈𝐵 𝐍𝐞𝐈𝐻 asked what actions have been taken so far against Kuki militants who have violated ground rules of the Sioux Agreement. She maintained that immediate actions are taken by security forces in the valley whenever there's violence, and no actions taken whatsoever against Kukis when they incite violence. It is now a big question if the government is unable to act against Kuki terrorists. 𝐍𝐞𝐈𝐻 alleged that the Meitei MLAs are silent since their near and dear ones are not affected by the violence. She stated that the wives of these MLAs will now be forced to take part in the activities of 𝐒𝐈𝐵s.
Meitei akhoi misang kanam ta leijadre India sarkar asu akhoi gi misang changvidre Manipur sarkar asu akhoi gi misang changvidre BJP sarkar asu Congress ta tainare Congress asu BJP tainare nohoi gi imire mantri gi macha masui adegi magi nupi kariguma sok patargadi mantri badon sin thora ga lantheng na gadra mohoi di Manipur macha natabra hoji phawa noina tumin na leiriba se karigino Manipur na asi yongna waraba nupi mayam singna ahing kayam tumdana yari iba ichai su kayam na sidana hoji leiriba singse minungsi mati amba utpidriba se karigino.
A 5-member team of Indian doctors for peace and development under the aegis of International Physicians of Prevention of Nuclear War inspected internally displaced persons staying at relief camps in Manipur due to the ethnic clash. The team, led by co-president of International Physicians for Prevention of Nuclear War, Dr. Arun Mitra, comprises Dr. Shakil ur Rahman, Dr. Ravindranath, Dr. Shanti and Dr. Rajni. They visited relief camps set up at Kumalam Park Hostel number 2 and discussed the shortcomings with inmates. The team assisted them in all possible ways and promised to inform the Indian government about all shortcomings as well. Speaking on the sideline, Dr. Arun Mitra said that they have been working towards strengthening the people mentally and physically in order to avoid any repercussions from a nuclear war in the world. He said they have been working towards a peaceful and a developed nation. The incident in Manipur is very unfortunate and appeal to all to restore peace and normalcy at the earliest.
We are against violence because peace is the basic thing that is required for any development purpose. And we were much pained when we heard about these things going on in Manipur. We have been going on to other places also, like wherever natural calamities have occurred, we have been giving them medical aid. But here the things were slightly different. So we thought first we will visit the place, take an assessment, particularly on the health issues.
We are trying to do a need assessment, health need assessment, and then we will try to lobby with all stakeholders who are either in the government or non-government organization to provide this help to the people who are in the refugee camp. They get the health needs as per their requirement, which is according to the international refugee standards.
They are not supplying properly napkins, and also there is no gynecologist when they get the problems, and we have seen inside the washrooms and all, they are not maintained properly and there is no regular water supply.
What is prevalent now is taking the toll of their mental health, which is to be addressed very seriously, because it is going to have a long-term impact on the minds of the kids and the women and also the other refugees who are staying here in the camp. So the physical health is very important and mental health is all the more important. Everything should be taken care in a holistic manner.
In an unfortunate incident, more than 70 persons have been admitted to various hospitals due to food poisoning after they consumed fermented soybean or hawaijar at 𝐿𝐶𝐵𝐻 Welfare Club and Lairem Nongabi 𝐒𝐈𝐵 𝐿𝐶𝐵𝐻 have appealed to all sellers of the fermented soybean to be extra vigilant amid the troubled times in Manipur. Addressing media at Manipur Press Club yesterday, President of the club Chongtham Hirojit and President of 𝐒𝐈𝐵 Khaidim Kamala said on 30th of August last month, around 7 people from 𝐿𝐶𝐵𝐻 were hospitalized after they started vomiting and complained of stomach ache. After a few hours, about 70 others had the same symptoms and were taken to various hospitals. 2 of them are in a serious condition and are currently in ICU. Staff of Food Safety Imphal West arrived at the spot and carried out safety inspections, and steps have been also taken to ensure the incident does not repeat.
ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯍꯋꯥꯏꯖꯥꯔ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯂꯣꯟꯕ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯕꯥꯃꯣꯟ ꯅꯨꯄꯤ ꯑꯃꯈꯛꯇꯪꯗꯒꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯑꯗꯥꯏꯗ ꯍꯋꯥꯏꯖꯥꯔ ꯂꯩꯔꯒ ꯆꯥꯕ ꯀꯥꯟꯁꯤꯗ ꯃꯣꯏꯁꯦ ꯅꯣꯡꯉꯥꯜꯂꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯀꯣꯆꯤꯡ ꯊꯣꯛꯑꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯃꯤꯁꯦ 90 ꯃꯣꯏꯁꯦ ꯑꯃꯨꯛꯇ ꯄꯨꯂꯞ ꯅꯠꯇꯕ ꯃꯊꯪ ꯃꯅꯥꯎ ꯅꯥꯏꯅ ꯃꯊꯪ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯍꯣꯁꯄꯤꯇꯥꯂꯥꯏꯁ ꯇꯧꯕ ꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯄꯣꯠꯁꯦ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯂꯩꯀꯥꯏꯗ ꯃꯁꯤꯗꯩꯅ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯀ꯭ꯂꯕꯀꯤ ꯁꯥꯏꯠꯇꯒꯤ ꯃꯩꯔꯥꯕꯦꯜꯒꯤ ꯁꯥꯏꯠꯇꯒꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯖꯅꯤꯡꯕꯗꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯍꯧꯖꯤꯛ ꯃꯅꯤꯄꯨꯔꯒꯤ ꯂꯣꯟꯕ ꯇꯥꯡꯐꯝꯁꯤꯗ ꯑꯁꯤꯒꯨꯝꯕ ꯀꯣꯆꯤꯡ ꯊꯣꯛꯑꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯃꯌꯥꯝ ꯋꯥꯅꯔꯤꯀꯥꯟꯁꯤꯗ ꯑꯃꯨꯛꯀ ꯍꯦꯟꯅ ꯏꯃꯨꯡ ꯃꯅꯨꯡꯗꯨꯗ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯑꯋꯥ ꯑꯅꯥ ꯃꯌꯥꯝ ꯇꯥꯔꯤꯁꯤ ꯇꯥꯗꯅꯕ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯂꯩꯀꯥꯏꯗ ꯍꯋꯥꯏꯖꯥꯔ ꯂꯣꯟꯕꯤꯔꯤꯕ ꯑꯇꯣꯞꯄ ꯂꯩꯀꯥꯏꯗ ꯍꯋꯥꯏꯖꯥꯔ ꯂꯣꯟꯕꯤꯔꯤꯕ ꯆꯥꯕꯤꯁꯤꯡꯗꯁꯨ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯍꯋꯥꯏꯖꯥꯔꯁꯦ ꯆꯥꯕꯗ ꯈꯤꯇꯪ ꯆꯦꯛꯁꯤꯟꯅ ꯆꯥꯕꯤꯌꯨ ꯍꯥꯏꯕ ꯋꯥꯍꯩꯁꯦ ꯑꯩ ꯂꯩꯀꯥꯏꯒꯤ ꯀ꯭ꯂꯕ ꯑꯃꯒꯤ ꯃꯩꯔꯥꯕꯦꯜꯒꯤ ꯁꯥꯏꯠꯇꯒꯤ ꯊꯝꯖꯔꯤ
Situation in the state remained tense with sporadic incidents of firing and congregation of protesters during the last 24 hours. According to a report from Manipur Police Control Room, search operations were conducted in the fringe and vulnerable areas of Imphal West, Imphal East, Kangpokpi and Thoubal districts. 4 arms, 1 pump gun, 6 ammunitions and 7 explosives were recovered from Imphal West, Kangpokpi and Thoubal districts during the operation. Intermittent exchange of fire occurred with armed miscreants in fringe areas of Bishnupur and Chochanpur districts. However, security forces deployed in the area responded and subsequently firing has subsided, the report said. Movement of 220 vehicles along NH37 with essential items were ensured. Strict security measures were taken up in all vulnerable locations and security convoy were provided along sensitive stretches in order to ensure free and safe movement of the vehicles. A total of 128 checkpoints were installed in different districts of Manipur, both in the hills and the valley, and police detained 2,082 persons in connection with violations in different districts of the state, the report from the Police Control Room added. The Manipur government yesterday ordered the lifting ban on mobile internet in the second phase, whitelisting mobile numbers for internet with immediate effect, while relaxation for the rest, including civilians and media, remain uncertain. The government order stated that the second phase of whitelisting was in pursuance of High Court order. According to the order by Commissioner Home T. Ranjit, the mobile numbers whitelisted for data are chairperson and members of Manipur Lok Ayukta, Manipur Human Rights Commission, Manipur Public Service Commission and other commissions, members of Parliament, all honorable members of Legislative Assembly Manipur, Director, Manipur Judicial Academy, Imphal, and officers recommended by Director, Manipur Judicial Academy, Principal Accountant General, Manipur, and officers recommended by him, police officers up to the level of Additional Superintendents of Police and above, Deputy Solicitor General of India and Central Panels Advocates recommended by Deputy Solicitor General of India, civil officers of the level of Deputy Secretary to the Government of Manipur and above, Registrar of Institutes and Principals of Dental College of RIMS and Jenims Imphal, Deputy Advocate General Manipur, all SDOs, ACs, SDCs, SDPOs and OCs at District, Director Airport Authority of India and other officers recommended by Director AAI, officers recommended by IB, CBI, NIA, RBI, officials of Home Department, Government of Manipur recommended by Commissioner Home, Government of Manipur, Directorate of Health Services of the level of Medical Officer and above, all the Informatics Officer of IT Department and Team Lead, staff of E-Office Support Team in State Headquarter and GEM Cell under Department of IT, State Informatics Officer NIC Imphal, officials recommended by SIO NIC Imphal, and official of NILIT. Indian Administrative Service Officer of 1992 batch from Manipur, Cadre Wumlunmang Walnam assumed the charge of Secretary, Ministry of Civil Aviation, Government of India on Friday. He succeeds Rajiv Bansal consequent upon his superannuation on August 31st, 2023. Wumlunmang Walnam has held many important positions in the Union Government, including Additional Secretary, Ministry of Finance, Joint Secretary, Minister of Home Affairs, and Deputy Secretary, Minister of Finance and Company Affairs. He has also held several key positions in government of Manipur, including Commissioner, Directorate of Health and Family Welfare and Director Transport. He has also served as advisor to the Executive Director in the World Bank. All Manipur Muslim Students Organization, AMSO and Delhi Association for Manipur Muslim Students, DAMS, have expressed strong condemnation over rising allegations and public insult on Muslims amid the ongoing crisis in the state. A joint press release issued by President of DAMS Phusam Amin Shah and President of AMSO 𝐂𝐍𝐈𝐋 Shah asked why the state government is still silent and not taking up any legal measure against the hate mongers to end the conspiracies. Claiming that the Pangal community has been accused of kidnapping children, trading with cookies, helping the cookies, etc. amid the ongoing conflict by a section of Meiteis, the two organizations maintained that wrongdoers exist in both communities, but blaming the whole community for the fault of some is very wrong. Further, maintaining that Pangals have become an easy target for some section of Meiteis by trying to humiliate and blame the whole community for almost anything unwarranted happening in the valley of the state, DAMS and AMSO admitted that black sheep exist in every community and they have to be identified and get them penalized accordingly. Blaming and humiliating the whole community for some individual's fault is wrong. It then asked why targeting of Pangals is becoming a routine affair in Manipur and why some local media are publishing controversial news items without fact-checking. DAMS and AMSO also asked why the Meitei civil society organizations remain silent and are not doing anything to clear the doubt between the two communities.
Kangluk ani ki marakta thokliba conflict asing ngasi phawda central government amadi state government na loisan bagi wakhalon ngasi phawda sunglai leite masi kari gi damakta no masi makoi gi manungda hidden agenda kari leibano haibasi akoina chingdenda bagamde uri poki mafam amada masingna bottle khullaga masagi ukchak tanabagi damakta imungi damakta paisa khara phangnabagi damakta makoina lambi da chatlaga thonganda soina bottle leibra bottle lausagi hai matamda yumdugi mina lei lao hairaga moina pusallaga mioi kharana makoibu hatkani tukani haina tawraga makoibu victimize tawra matungda makoi da kihan khangalaga noi huran bani hayu hairaga namdana hayallaga imasing adubu izzat lauba amadi akoi Pangal community bu mangnu hanbagi thabo ase akoi dams na amadi Pangal community yamna hakchin lawi masigi posi tahoningde.
And in some national news, days after scripting history by becoming the only nation to achieve a successful soft landing near the south pole of the moon, India added another feather to its space exploration cap today with the successful launch of the Aditya L1 mission. India's first solar space observatory mission was launched on the Polar satellite launch vehicle PSLV-XL from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota at 11:50 a.m. The separation of Aditya L1 and its injection into the elliptical orbit around the Earth was successful and took about 63 minutes. Aditya L1 will be placed in the hollow orbit around Lagrange point 1 L1 of the Sun-Earth system, which is about 1.5 million kilometers from the Earth. The journey to L1 will take 125 days. According to ISRO, the key objectives of the mission are understanding the coronal heating and solar wind acceleration, understanding initiation of coronal mass ejection CME, flares and near Earth space weather, gaining knowledge of coupling and dynamics of the solar atmosphere and getting a deeper understanding of solar wind distribution and temperature anisotropy, non-uniformity in different directions. And in international news, former Singapore Deputy Prime Minister Tharman Shanmugaratnam was elected president according to the official results in the city-state's first contested vote for the largely ceremonial position in more than a decade. The elections department declared the 66-year-old economist as the winner over two rival candidates after securing 70.4% of ballots cast. Mr. Shanmugaratnam replaces incumbent Halima Yaqub, who ran unopposed for her 6-year term in 2017. There are stringent requirements for the position, which formally oversees the city's accumulated financial reserves and holds the power to veto certain measures and approve anti-graft probes. Observers said Tharman Shanmugaratnam's win is a boost for the ruling People's Action Party PAP, which is widely perceived to favor his candidacy. Mr. Shanmugaratnam, also former finance minister, was a long-time PAP stalwart before he resigned to run for the non-partisan position of president. And before we wrap up, here are the headlines once again. Free Cookie terrorists allegedly killed 7 to 8 others injured during gun battle with village volunteers at Kadangban. Mass sit-in protests held across valley districts against Assam Rifles. Legal notice served on 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻, demand removal of Assam Rifles from Manipur. Waterborne skin disease, cough, conjunctivitis detected at some relief camps. IDPs draw government's attention. And that's all we have for now. But for more news updates, keep watching newtv.